acknowledgement to country.
All right. Welcome to a Digitrek event, and I'd now like to hand over to Dr Jan Cattoni from Central Queensland University.
It's Jan Cattoni, and it's a good North Queensland name. It's a good Italian name from Ingham.
Sorry, Jan.
Yeah, you're right. So my name's Jan Cattoni, and I teach digital media at CQU in Cairns. I grew up in Ingham and wanted to be a filmmaker. And unfortunately, when I finished high school, there was nowhere I could study filmmaking and remain in North Queensland. So I went off and studied at Griffith Film School. I had a couple of different career paths. I followed through with nursing for a while. I was a kids ICU nurse and then a lecturer in nursing, but I always had a passion for filmmaking. So that was a great combination, believe it or not. My area of filmmaking expertise is documentary. And I found that combining those two fields really worked in my favour for many years. So I would work as a kids ICU nurse while I studied filmmaking. My career path was that I did a little bit of study toward filmmaking, did my nursing, went back and finished the filmmaking study, did some postgrad work, worked as a nursing academic for a while, but then went back and did a grad dip in production. And because I had this kind of interesting combination of careers, I got my first job making films was a graduate initiative working with UNICEF in the Pacific. So I worked in Fiji, Marshall Islands in the Northern Pacific and in Vanuatu for many, many years making documentaries. So it just goes to show you, you don't always have to go on a straight path. Sometimes you can go on a kind of a roundabout path, following your dreams and the things that you sort of passion, and end up in somewhere that's quite unique. So even though nursing didn't give me the creative scope that I wanted in my life, it certainly gave me so many good skills, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed hearing people's stories and being able to make a difference on a day-to-day basis. I did say to Karen, who's organised this event, that I would like to start off by sharing an acknowledgement of country video that we made up here on the Cairns campus. So I'm going to start off by playing that, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about our course. So I'm going to share my screen and my sound. And before we start playing this, as I said, was made entirely on campus up in Cairns. A lot of the drone, well, all of the drone footage is footage I took myself. The sound was created by a graduate student from the Torres Strait. You'll hear her voice in there as well. We recorded Jenna Worry, who was our cultural advisor. We filmed her in Cairns and had local students part of that filming experience as well. And it was edited and sound mixed up there. So it's 2 minutes long. I hope you enjoy it.
We meet on this country in the spirit of reconciliation. As we come together today, we acknowledge the rich history of this land and offer recognition and respect for the custodians who have lived here continuously for many centuries. We acknowledge elders of the past who have created the history, those who are with us in the present to lead us forward, and the elders and leaders who will guide us in the future. For all embody the memories, traditions and cultures that are vital to preserving connections to this land. We acknowledge and offer greetings to First Nations people from everywhere in Australia, to those on country bounded by sea, to those from the Red Interior, to those who dwell amongst magnificent forests, and to the many who live in cities across this land. Central Queensland University, Australia, acknowledges the significance and strength of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island cultures and their place in the expression of an inclusive national society. Thank you for coming together today on Country.
Okay, so those of you in North Queensland will recognise a lot of footage from there. Some of it's from Hinchinbrook Island, some of it's from around Murray Upper. Currently, we don't offer digital media on campus in Townsville. However, having said that, I'm looking to having get-togethers with digital media students in the next little while. In fact, hopefully in the next month or two. We have a memorandum of understanding with Screenworks, who provide screen teaching for the Northern region and are funded through Screen Queensland, who are the state funding agency, and Screenworks's area goes down to south of Townsville. So keep your ear open and you might hear about some Screenworks events, which are hosted by CQU and will be on our CQU campus. So there are already quite a few. I think we've got maybe about 30 students studying digital media in the Townsville region. So that's why I'd like to get down to Townsville and meet those students, meet you perhaps if you're interested in coming along. And yeah, so the next thing I'm going to do is give you an overview of our course. So I'm just getting that up on the screen. I'm going to have to share my screen again if you just hold on. Desktop 2. And so I'm just going to give you an overview of our course, and it's a really interesting course in lots of ways. So here we go. Start the slideshow. So Central Queensland University is a university that has quite a big regional footprint, and we have campuses in Cairns, Townsville, Mackay, Rockhampton, Bundaberg. We're reopening a campus at Noosa, and in Brisbane. We have other campuses in other states, but they're the ones that we have in Queensland. And the Bachelor of Digital Media is offered through the School of Education and the Arts. Okay, this is a little bit of an overview of some of the skill areas we teach. So social media, graphic design, photography and film, and 3D model building is what you can see on that page. There are numerous career paths that you can follow on with the Bachelor of Digital Media, and in a moment I'll explain to you how you can exit the course at different points, so you don't have to do a full 3-year degree if you don't want to. But these are some of the career paths that our students find themselves working in. So web design and development, graphic design and illustration, video and audio production, 3D modeling and animation, mobile app development, user experience design, game design, and digital marketing. So the Bachelor of Digital Media prepares students for a career in the media and communications industry, and also the design industry. Typically, it's completed within 3 years, but it can be it's full-time or longer. If you're taking the part-time route, it can be studied online or on campus, and I've listed the campuses there where you can study it on campus. And entry into our program requires a sound achievement in English or the equivalent. Now, we have a very flexible structure. CQU survived the COVID period pretty well because we'd always taught all of our units online as well. So we always have. So I think one of the strengths of what our offering is the degree of flexibility that you have if you study. So the degree structure consists of 12 compulsory core units and 12 optional elective units. And basically everyone does the same first year. You can exit with a diploma of digital media after the first year, and then you do 12 compulsory units, and you also get to do elective units. So it's a little bit confusing. So within that 12 optional elective units, there are still another 4 electives that can be taken outside. So the 12 optional elective units means that you basically choose 2 minors to complete your degree, and that we offer minors in graphic design, interactive media, screen production, and in animation. And on top of that, you can take 4 electives from any course offered in the university. So students might, add in areas like audio, so audio mixing, music, theatre. There's a whole range. There's no limits, and students often just choose something that they have an interest in. So as I said earlier, there are interim and exit awards. So that includes, you can do those 12 compulsory core units in first year, and you can graduate with a diploma of digital media. You can do a 2-year program, which is an associate degree of digital media. And with that, you basically do your 2 electives. And then in the 3rd year, students do work integrated learning. So they do a collaborative media project where they work in a team. That's often online work, so you don't need to be in any particular location. And they do a digital media project, so they choose the specialty that they become most interested in and think they would like to work in, and they do that in the final term of the 3-year degree. So the 3rd year of the degree is actually pretty exciting, and it really mirrors professional practice and workplace skills. And many of our students get positions as a result of the work that they do in that 3rd year, and it is really geared toward professional practice. Okay, and there we go, work integrated learning. So here are some examples of some of the work that our students have done as part of their 3rd year. So this is a student project for the Victorian Deaf Society. So you create real life, you have real life clients in your 3rd year, and you create work for them. We use primarily the Adobe Suite, and if you can come on campus and use that software, and there's a really nice campus in Townsville. I think it's in Sturt Street. You've probably seen it. It's where Storm used to be, sort of just past the railway station there. So there's really nice, computer labs. If you need software, we just have it loaded on those machines for you. So we use Photoshop, Illustrator for illustration, InDesign for page layout, Premiere Pro for video production, After Effects for motion graphics and video effects, Dreamweaver, PHP, and MySQL for web design, XD for interface design, Unity for game design, and Maya for 3D modeling and animation. These are our facilities that we have. Unfortunately, we don't have a studio in Townsville, but we actually do have, quite a good setup for filming in Townsville, if that's something you're interested in. And as I said, we'll hopefully be working toward giving Townsville students options such as this. But this is a studio. I think this one's in Rockhampton. So the studios are in Cairns, Mackay, Rockhampton, and Brisbane. This is a list of where some of our graduates have worked. So graphic design and web design firms, video and photography studios, marketing and advertising agencies, software development and IT support firms, television networks, schools and vocational training providers, universities and research centres, and also in printeries. And this is just, these are a few of our graduates and the work that they do. So David Pearson is a video producer, and there he's being, there's a, feature article on him in Alive magazine. This is Madeline Holmes. She works as a professional photographer. Luke Malley, who's an artist, and there we see him with Ed Sheeran. Sam Martin, who's a motion graphics designer, Hayden Wright, who's a social media marketer, Alex Byrne, who's a user experience designer, Ashley Lawson, who's a digital marketer, and Cash Walker, who's a web designer. Yeah, there's more. Melissa Shears, social media manager, Nick Howell, video editor. And this slide is really to show that our staff are active researchers. So speaking for myself, I'm part of an Australian Research Council grant at the moment where I'm studying, we'll be working at Queensland Children's Hospital, Sydney Children's Hospital and Cairns Hospital next year, helping, working with young people to co-create virtual places within hospitals. So working mainly with adolescents who are bedbound due to illness and working with them to create virtual worlds within the hospital world. So it's a really exciting project, and I'm a chief investigator on that project. Many of our staff are practicing artists and award winners. So this is Andrew Martin's beautiful animation, and he won awards for this a few years back. We were a national award winner at the I Awards. And then this is the overview of the degree program. So these are the 8 compulsory level 1 units. So this is what you do in first year, where they've got a 1 beside them. That's just term 1. And the 2 is term 2. So in the first term, which we're just coming toward the end of now, digital, video and audio, illustration and visualization. You do web design, introduction to study and professional practice, so learning how to write professionally, foundations of animation, user experience design, visual design fundamentals, and coding fundamentals. So with that, you can exit with a diploma of digital media, and many students get jobs on the basis of having done that first year. You don't have to decide at the beginning whether you're going to do the 3-year degree or not. You can basically decide as you go along. So you could enroll in this and you might really enjoy it, in which case then you can go on to the 2nd year. So these are the 4 minors that I mentioned: the graphic design minor, interactive media minor, screen production minor, which is what I teach into, and the animation minor. Now, Karen from Digitrek, who has organised this event, has a handout if you would like a copy of this. Yeah, just to have a look at it. And then this is the 3rd year of the unit, which I mentioned. So business of digital innovation, so how to run your own business, collaborative digital media project, which is work integrated learning, and you do, that's a year-long project. It's a really exciting project. So it's done over the full year, and you work in a team, and students have produced great work for a whole range of clients. And so work integrated learning is increasingly a really important aspect of tertiary offerings. You know, you really want to know that you can get a job at the end of it, and that year-long course really primes you for that. And then the digital media project, which is the term 2 project, where you might decide you love animation. And last year, for example, we had a student do a series concept for a short animated series, did excellent work, and he's gone straight into a job at the moment, from as soon as he finished that course. And as I said, you can do 4 elective units as well from any undergraduate degree program offered by the university. And if you've done any prior study, you can apply for recognition of that prior study. You can visit us on Facebook. So just look up CQU Uni Digital Media, and that's the end of my slideshow there. So you can contact me anytime you want to. I'm more than happy to answer your questions, and I will be in Townsville for this first screen work events, which we're hoping will happen around July of this year. I think I'm going to leave it there, Karen.
That was amazing, Jan. I'm going to sign up for that course. But we have Amanda with us today. So Amanda, if you have any questions you might like to jump in with, please feel welcome to unmute yourself and ask away.
Hey, Amanda. No questions?
Oh,
I'm
no.
really...
she doesn't have a mic. She's working from home.
Okay.
That's okay.
You can put them in the chat. Oh, there is, I can see there's a couple of questions in the chat there. Working from home, no questions, thank you. Yeah, Amanda, as I said, Screenworks are going to be offering a whole series. Probably there'll be a meet and greet, probably in, I'm actually going to give you the Screenworks website so you can sign up. And so sign up for their newsletter, and that way you'll find out when there's something in Townsville. And the great thing about ScreenWorks is that because they're funded through the Queensland government, a lot of their offerings are free. So you could come along, have a chat. I'm really happy to chat in person. And if there are other people, friends, and that you are interested in sort of sharing that information with, come along. And that's probably one of the best things to do, and meet face to face. And I'll bring along also, I'll be connecting with the Townsville-based students for that. Interestingly, there's some, in my field, which is filmmaking, there's some really strong filmmakers who we've started to connect with both through ScreenWorks and through CQU, just to try and build a little bit of a community in Townsville, because JCU used to offer, creative arts, as well as I taught for them on and off for quite a few years. But since they stopped offering those courses maybe 2 or 3 years ago now, there's no real central way of those filmmakers connecting, or students, potential students developing skills. So even though we're a tertiary institution, we also are a TAFE institution. We're a vocational educational institution, and I'm having conversations at the moment about possibly offering some of our content through TAFE. So yeah, come along, say hello. It will be at CQU, so you can have a look around. CQU has always likes to have their campuses in the middle of towns, which is a nice feel. To be honest, I'm right in the middle of Cairns Square, which is right on the Esplanade here. And the other exciting thing that's been happening in North Queensland is that we're having this sound studio built. So it's basically a studio. It's been funded through state government, and it's likely to attract a lot of productions. And in fact, there's lots of productions going on at the moment, and I'm specifically looking to, last year we were able to place a lot of our students on those productions. There was a Netflix series and 2 features being filmed up here when there was no filming happening anywhere else. So
yeah, it's exciting times for North Queensland. I do a lot of work with Screen Queensland on Gold Coast and in Brisbane, and yes, the big talk at the moment is all the big things that are going to be happening up north. So anyone who's interested in film as a career pathway and building on their digital skills, it's big opportunities in North Queensland.
It's true. There's a series that's just started this week at Proserpine, and I've managed to attract a production to Ingham, actually. So that's
nice.
With Anthony LaPaglia, and that'll be happening in the next few weeks. It'll kick off until about July. So yeah, it is an exciting time, and it's nice that we're able to connect with those productions rather than the North just being locations. So there's a lot of capacity building, which is why we have ScreenWorks here as well. Whose expertise is in regional skills development for the screen, and their offerings are terrific. So
yes, they're good people to work with.
Yeah, they are, Karen.
Yeah. Well, Amanda, unless you have any other questions, I think Jan has done an amazing job on covering off on everything, and it's inspiring to hear those opportunities and the structure of the course.
Yep. And the only other thing I was going to say was that we do have midterm offerings as well, so mid-year offerings. So that starts in about July. I think it's, no, I've got the wrong academic calendar in front of me. So yeah, in July you can enroll. And as I said, you can do 1 or 2, the flexibility is really good. Everything is recorded. So, I do a documentary class, the Savi, and a lot of their online students don't attend because, they have full-time jobs. So I'm doing them an offering in the evening. So we do try and accommodate our students, and I think they have a good experience on the whole.
Lovely. Well, we might wrap it up there. Okay. Amanda, there is a face-to-face event happening in Townsville on the 21st of May at TAFE Pimlico campus, which is another Digitrek event with lots of information about career pathways and education pathways in the region. So maybe you'd like to come along to that one as well. But thank you very much, Jan, for the information today. And I will pass that information that you've shared with me on to Amanda and anyone else who watches the recording.
Sounds good. Nice to meet you, Amanda. Nice to meet you, Karen.
Thank you very much, Jan. Enjoy your day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.